Hello, another Maker Advent, and it's been a busy day, so pardon it being so late, but we have on the bench my original Arduino Uno from 2010. I keep checking myself, is it 2010? It's a long time ago. Original Arduino Uno, and a board that I've made, a Shield, to convert, well, it's basically to program ATtiny85s from an Arduino, which has been set up as an in-series programmer. This is now to program other Arduinos and other boards, such as this ATtiny85. Now, I'm going to fess up here. This is not my first attempt at doing this. It wasn't like, hey, it all worked perfectly. You know, I did make a mistake. What was a mistake? Well, I thought I could solder the traces myself and do like a nice little circuit board. I probably could, but it would have took a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I didn't have any spare scraps of old legs to solder on. That's LED legs, not people legs. Okay. So I went with a good old wire, and it worked. Well, yeah, it works. I've tested it. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to come on camera and go, hey, guess what? Well, I've done that in the past. Anyhow, I soldered it with my Pine-Sol $25, £25 soldering iron. Really handy. And just off camera up here is a Pine power station for it, like a bench power supply. I can charge my laptop from it, I can power this soldering iron from it, I can power the Pis, etc, etc. 35 quid for that as well. It's like a bargain. This is really good. It's like a TS100. Even uses the same tips. Anyway, digress, but if you're getting a soldering iron, buy one of these. Here's my Arduino Uno, here's the Shield. I've soldered up some pins to go on it. I've not used the through-hole pins because, well, to be fair, I don't need through-hole connectivity with this, so I'm going to keep that on camera. Wallop. There we go. It's all plugged in. Did have to trim some pins because these newer Arduino boards have 2 extra pins there and 2 extra pins there, so I just chopped them off. In fact, I used a pin snapper from another video. Link up here. Yeah, YouTuber. Does it work? Yes, it does. I've tested it, but let's put it on camera. So I'm going to show you what's plugged in here. It's an ATtiny85. It's really an Arduino compatible chip. It's an Atmel chip. Very limited GPIO, but it's got what you need. 5 standard GPIO pins, some with PWM, and we've got, I think, is it 1 or 2? I think it's 1 analog pin. I've got to look around the light and the camera to see the screen, which is fun. We've got SPI, MISO MOSI, I2C, SDASCK, and you can pick them up for about £1.50 the chips. They're not cheap now, but they're good tiny little things. You can also use them with NeoPixels, and I'll put another link somewhere up there where I've done some stuff with NeoPixels with ATtiny85s. So let's program it. Top left is the standard Arduino blink sketch, which we all do to verify that something works. Brilliant sketch. It's the hello world of electronics, basically. Everyone should do it at least once to work out what's going on with their code and their hardware. And it's what I did with this. And just out of shot, I have a test rig piled under stuff. So there's so much stuff off camera that I can show you it working. So let's flash the code onto this. I'm going to plug in one of the old printer leads, remember them, and it's instantly going to spin this Arduino around like it's a crocodile in a death roll. Banana for weight. Into the Arduino code. Now this is set up as the Arduino Uno is an ISP, in-series programmer, and it's just going to pass code along to that ATtiny. So let's change the code slightly. So we've got pin mode 0 as an output. In other words, pin 0 sends current out of it. 0 high, delay for 1 second, 1000 milliseconds. Low, wait for 1/10 of a second, 100 milliseconds. I'm going to change that to both really quick. So there we go, that's done. I'm going to just verify that it's all okay. Yeah, compiled and it's okay. Now when I click this, it's really sending codes to an ATtiny85. There you go. With the processor ATtiny85 and an internal clock of 8 MHz. If you ever need, well, if you ever use these straight out of the box, they're just 1 megahertz. So you can use Burn Bootloader to write it straight to it. And it will make it so you can then go back to clock internal 8 megahertz. Set that. So I'm just going to click on upload now, and it's going to send the code to that ATtiny85. Done. That was quick. So now I'm going to pause the video just long enough for me to safely remove that chip and put it into the test rig, and without you hearing me swear as I knock stuff over. So, one moment please. So, we have my test rig, which has an ATtiny85 just up here, and I've got connections for 5 volt and ground going to a USB micro breakout board here from ProtoPic. Got this a few years ago. Really handy. I'll chuck a link in the comments. No, description. That's where I'll put it. I'm still new to YouTube, he says after watching so many hours of YouTube videos. Anyway, to prove this is... Hey, jump cut. Well, that was fun. Is this some new Dutch angle I'm trying for some art house movie? No, it's when I dropped something on the keyboard before. You would have heard it in the first part of the video. It hit the button, the exact button that stopped the recording, but I didn't realise for 2 minutes. Yay! So I think what I was talking about at that moment... Oh, I'm clipping. Let's keep it down a bit. There we go. What I was talking about at that moment was that I was just about to demonstrate the board working. So, ta-da! There it is working. So we've got the ATtiny85 plugged in. Got a lovely green LED. I think I picked these up at Norbreck Radio Rally. So NASA Radio Rally in 2019, pre-pandemic. 3mm green LED. Really nice. Nice pale green. Plugged into the Pine power supply. There is the ATtiny. And it's all working using my ProtoPic power supply and breadboard. So the next part of the video, hopefully tomorrow, all depends what's going on because it's busy at the minute. So if I can do part 3 tomorrow, it will be making like a custom proto board. I say custom proto board, I mean going into the box of proto boards and finding one and soldering up a little circuit for the ATtiny in a socket so I can take it out to reprogram if I need to. And setting it all up to make those lovely stars blink rather than just be static lights, but with different colours. Fingers crossed. If not, it'll be something else, but I'm hoping it's going to be part 3 tomorrow to do that. Anyway, cheers and welcome to the Director's Cut.